So I've come to hate my Royal Enfield Continental GT 650. You might be surprised, but today it's raining in Sydney, so I'm going to throw it on the back of the ute and you're coming with me. So it's absolutely teeming down with rain here in Sydney today, and I've got to take the Royal Enfield out. I don't want to ride today. I don't want to put myself at risk. So yesterday I went out and bought 2 ramps to put onto the back of my ute. Now, I've never loaded a motorcycle onto the back of a ute, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up this camera and capture me loading the ute, and if for any reason, which is highly likely, that the bike falls off and crashes and gets destroyed, well, at least I might have a viral video for load fails to share with everyone anyway. Anyway, let's give it a shot. Put the ramps on the back of the ute, try and get the Enfield onto the ute without any damage, and we'll head out and talk about why I hate my Enfield. The ramp's really quite slippery. It's pouring with rain, so if I'm going to go up, I'm going to go up in a really big way, I reckon. Okay, so that was way harder and slipperier than I expected. Now, normally it wouldn't be that hard, but just because it's raining so heavy, the ramps were so slippery and quite steep to get on the back of the ute. So I had to take it to the front of the driveway and sit halfway across the road essentially, and so the tailgate could sit down, and then it was almost a flat ramp straight across. So she's on now and we're off. So I'll tell you more about my Enfield and where it's going and what's happening in the car. Okay, so the thumbnail and the title may have been just a little bit clickbaity. I love my Royal Enfield, but there are parts of it that I hate, and that's what I'm addressing today. So the bike's on the back. I don't know if you can see it there in the mirror, and that was an effort in itself to get it on. So it's raining heaps. The ramps are really slippery. It's the first time I've loaded a bike on. It's a 200 kilo bike. Yeah, it was a challenge. So I had to move down to the front of the driveway where it wasn't as steep. The ramps were flat. It went on easy. Then I discovered that because of the cover that I've got on my ute, they've taken out all of my tie down locations. So there was very few spots that I could actually fasten the bike on the back once it was there. So, what a morning. That was a challenge. But we're on our way over to Royal Enfield Sydney now, And when we get over there, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the changes I'm going to make to the bike so I can love it more and hate it less. Let's go. Alright, so essentially, up until only a couple of weeks ago, I was contemplating selling my Enfield. It was just sitting in the garage, it wasn't being used. I guess I just fell out of love with it, but I got asked to help out on a ride day for Royal Enfield at Picton a couple of weekends ago, and just riding the bike all day again, I just absolutely fell in love with it. The thing that I didn't fall in love with again was the seating position. It had nothing to do with the bike. The bike's fantastic, I really love it. But the seating position for my particular body, I just found it uncomfortable. Running from my house out to the freeway to Picton was just a nightmare for me. Once I was doing the twisty roads out at Picton, I had a really good time being in that cafe racer seating position. But then the freeway trip home again just drove me nuts. So I came over here to Royal Enfield Sydney and I had a chat to Santina and Will, and what we decided to do was essentially make my GT a little bit more like an Interceptor. And in hindsight, if I was to have my time over again, I would have just bought the Interceptor. I think it would have been a better choice for me, but I've got the GT already. I don't want to waste money on buying another bike right now. So I'm just making some modifications to it to give me a more upright seating position. Now I'm going to take you out and show you the bike real shortly, but it's also inspired me to do a full customization job on this bike. So this is the first step, and everything that I do to it, I'm making it so it's going to be reversible. So when I choose to sell it in the future, I'll be able to reverse it back to the original GT if needed. But if someone likes it how it is, they can certainly buy it. Anyway, let's go out and have a look at the changes that we've made to the bike. Alright, so this isn't my bike, but this is essentially the same model as what I bought. It's a Dr. Mayhem Continental GT 650. And you can see the handlebars here. They're not real low set like a lot of cafe racers are, but it does put you in a forward seating position, and for my arms and my back it just didn't like it anymore. And if we come back onto the Interceptor, you can see that there's a higher bar, almost like a motocross bar, and it puts you in a taller seating position, so it's a bit more comfortable for those long trips on the freeway. Now what I'm doing a little bit different is, rather than putting an Interceptor bar onto my GT, I'm actually putting on a bar off the Himalayan, which is the adventure bike from Royal Enfield. This is a Himalayan just here, and you can see the bar on the Himalayan is just a little bit wider and with no cross member off in the front, and I've chosen a black too. So I'm kind of starting to develop what you probably classify as a flat tracker style of bike out of my Continental GT. So anyway, let's go outside and see how it's come up from the boys out the back. Alright, here she is. New handlebars. I'm very impressed. They actually look awesome, and the seating position suits me down to the ground. I can't wait to get a nice sunny day to take it for a good run. Look at that, that looks really nice. So happy with it. Upright, even a bit more upright than an Interceptor, I think. Still with the foot pegs that are slightly rear set. So it'll be a really nice, racy but upright riding position. Very nice, well impressed. Throttlers, we're back at home now, and just gotten the bike off the truck off the ute and just having a walk around it, and I'm so impressed with the new stance, the new look of the bike with the handlebars. I guess it's the beginning of a flat tracker style of look that I'm after. This is the first of a whole bunch of little customization things I want to do. I want to change out the indicators. I'm going to change the tank, probably get it wrapped, so then in the future when I try and sell it, I can just undo the wrap and it still comes back to the original tank colours. And obviously we can also wrap the little covers here as well. So anyway, I'm going to roll some B-roll of the new stance, the new bike. Actually, let me jump on it so you can see from a side-on point of view my body positioning on it, which is more suitable for what I want out of my bike. Then we'll roll a bit of B-roll, and I just want to give a shout out to Royal Enfield Sydney, Santina, Will, and the team of boys in the shed. Did a great job. They're always a pleasure to deal with. So for any of your Royal Enfield needs, please check out Royal Enfield Sydney. And they've also got this mad drag bike, a Continental GT drag bike that Santina and Will have been building, and I'll be doing a story on that real soon too. So check out Royal Enfield Sydney, they're amazing. But for now, let's B-roll a bit of this new bike or new handlebars, and until next time, throttle on, stay safe, ciao.